Hey guys, welcome to Guitar Lingo Part 3. This is the series where I go through and explain words that guitarists use that other people might not know, or if you're just starting to play guitar, you might not know these either. I'm hoping that this is a helpful series. As I said, this is Part 3, so there are 2 other parts. Links to those down in the description. This is the final one. So anyways, in this one I'm just going to kind of go over all the rest of the words I kind of missed that are just kind of simple. So I'm hoping this helps. So the first thing we're going to go over is different types of tunings. You can see my horrible handwriting here, but these are just some of the normal types, and you can see standard tuning here. So the first word we're going to go over is drop D, right up here. The difference with drop D is you take your E, as I've written here, and make it into a D. That's the only difference. Everything else is the same. This is common in like metal type stuff and can be really cool to use. Next, we're going to go to half-step tuning. Now, half-step tuning is everything down a half step or a fret or whatever. So instead of E, you have D sharp. Instead of G or A, you have G sharp. Instead of D, you have C sharp. Instead of G, you have F sharp. Instead of B, you have A sharp. And instead of E, you have D sharp. Another D sharp. So those are just kind of some of the standard tunings really quick. Next, I'm going to talk to you about crunchy and chunky. Those are kind of the same. This is just a simple, like, palm muted sound, just like with no reverb or delay or anything, but usually has some distortion on it, and just kind of usually like does fourth notes or something to kind of keep the beat. So another common word you might hear is attack. Now, attack is the initial hit of the note. If I hit a note, you're going to hear the initial ping, and then you're going to hear the reverberation after that. But attack is the initial thing. Now the next thing is ambient. And ambient essentially doesn't have attack. It's just kind of the reverberating sounds that are just kind of left over after you hit the note. And another term for this is saturated, where it just, all your sound kind of blends together. There's no certain note going on. You have, 3 or 4 different chords going at the same time. And that's really common for worship stuff. So alternate picking. You may be watching a video and a guy says, to learn how to do this, you're going to want to alternate pick. But what is alternate picking? Well, it's pretty simple. If you have your pick, when you strum, normally you strum down. This is going to look awkward, but you strum down or up. But when you're picking, you're just hitting one at a time. Alternate picking is where you hit one down and then one up and then one. One down, one up, one down, one up, one down, one up. So you're switching between up and down like that kind of. And that's used, that can be for certain solos and stuff, but that also gets you really comfortable with what you're working with. Now another thing you might hear of is a fill or a riff. These are the exact same things. This is almost like a mini solo that you play like in between a verse and a chorus or something. And sometimes they're written out, most of the time they're written out, but like in a live setting, I know myself, I'll just make them up on the spot. A lot of guys do that, where you'll just think of something, you're like, oh, I'm in C, I can play here and do this, and it will sound really cool. So that's just kind of what a fill and a riff is. They're the exact same thing, and it's just to fill a spot. That's all it is. Now, tube amps versus solid state amps. Now, I'm not going to go into the debate of this. This is a huge, big, hairy deal. But I'm just going to tell you what the difference is. So a tube amp uses tube technology, like the old TVs in the 70s, little like glass bottles with a wire in them. And that's used to make your power. I'm not 100% sure how it all works. But it also gives a totally different sound. I just recently got a tube amp. I'm going to do a gear update like next week because I love it. Now, solid state amps run with the exact same technology as your desktop computer sitting in your bedroom or whatever. It uses wires and stuff to transfer the power, and like I said, I'm not sure how it all works, but they sound different. And basically what you need to know is, tube amps are older technology, and a lot of people think they sound better, and solid state are cheaper and use newer technology. So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is passive. Now, when you're looking at pedals, you'll see things that say like passive pedal or whatever. Basically, it has something different to do with the circuitry. I don't know exactly what it does, but I'm realizing that I don't know very much in this video. But Basically, for a beginning guitarist, what it means is you don't need to power the thing. It runs without power, or it runs, like on the power of the car, or whatever. You don't need to put a battery in it or connect it to the wall or anything. That's just kind of the last one I decided to throw in. So that's it. I know this has been a very, very quick way of doing this. Some of you may have been like, I don't know what he said. Go ahead, just rewind the video and you'll figure it out. Like I said, this is part 3 in a series. So I put the series along with my first improv guitar solo in a playlist. Link to that down in the description. You can also subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at LamerJeff. If you go check out that improv guitar solo, tell me if you liked it or not. I plan on doing another one pretty soon. I thought it was a fun little thing to do. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. I hope you enjoyed this, and also that you watched the first 2 parts. And I will see you guys next week, most likely with a gear update. So may as well be done. Bye, guys.